Hello, everybody. We're not starting yet. People are just coming in. But what is a little bit tricky is that we can't really see the names of people. So I can see Talina's name, but not Zoran. And I think that's Ludovic Rocher there. And so somehow you should be able to give your name so that we can see who is here. Okay, various people are coming. So we're going to start in a couple of minutes at about 5 past. But if you can find a way to name yourself, I don't know where you can actually do that. Zoran. Zoran knows how to do it. He's just done it. Can you tell us? Zoran is. I can see Zoran's name. Okay, Alexius. Okay, everyone's got their name. So let's wait a couple of minutes, and then we'll begin once we have a couple more people. So we start at about 5 past. It always takes a couple of minutes before people show up. So we'll begin at 5 past. Okay, hello everybody. So the question from Alexius is, when do we start? So we said at the beginning of this meeting at about 12 that we will start at about 5 past, and we will start with whoever is here. Sometimes we're going to have more people, sometimes we're going to have less people. So now it's 5 past, and we're just going to start. We are recording this as well, so we will have it up online. The last meeting we had about 15, 20 people or something like this. This time we have a little bit less. We'll see how these meetings go. And you'll see that people will come in. So I can see, so there's about 6 of us at the moment. Before we introduce each other, I just want to say a couple of things. The first is, welcome to the second Apache NetBeans virtual meeting. The purpose of these meetings is to get to know each other and to discuss the state of the project, Apache NetBeans, and to discuss any tasks that need to be done. Important note is we can't make any decisions here. Decisions are always taken on the Apache mailing lists and not in meetings of this kind. In Apache, everything is done on mailing lists. So this is just an informal get-together. So before we talk about the current state of the project, let's start by introducing each other. So for myself, so I'm Geert-Jan. I've been working on NetBeans since about 2004. I'm in Amsterdam. I used to work in Sun. Now I'm working in Oracle. I'm one of several people in Oracle who are working on NetBeans. So next I see here Kai. So maybe, hello Kai, you can tell us who you are and where you are and what your involvement is with NetBeans. I think you are on mute. We can't hear you anyway. Oh wait, 1 second. Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Kai, we can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Good.
so Kai, please tell us who you are.
Yeah. Now I'm back in Germany for 3 months. Yeah. Hello?
Hello, yes, we can hear you fine.
Okay.
We can hear you perfectly.
Yeah.
So what are you doing with NetBeans? What is your interest in NetBeans?
Sorry?
What is your interest in NetBeans? How are you using NetBeans?
I'm using NetBeans for my Java EE JSF development.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so Kai is from the JSF Java E side. So we also have Zoran. Zoran, can you tell us who you are and where you are and what you're doing with NetBeans?
Yes, of course. Hi, I'm Zoran. I work at the University of Belgrade, where I use NetBeans for teaching Java and AI development. And I'm also working on a startup in domain. We are using NetBeans platform as a base for development of our.
Perfect. And what about Alexius? I think you're on mute, Alexius. If you're talking, you are on mute. Strange. I can't unmute you. Sorry. Okay, so maybe Ludovic O'Shea. Can you tell us who you are and where you are and what you're doing? Oh, he don't have a microphone. Perfect. Then we have Tulina. You introduced yourself last time, but maybe you can say who you are again if you can unmute.
Hello. Yeah, I'm from Sri Lanka. I'm using NetBeans. I think it's about it. It was first my IDE when I was in college. I was started using NetBeans as my IDE. It was the first IDE. That's the IDE I get expression about IDE, right? Then currently I'm using NetBeans as many of my platforms, many of my softwares. NetBeans I'm using the RCP. I build softwares on top of NetBeans RCP. That's why I'm very familiar with this thing. And I'm from Sri Lanka. That is how I am doing with NetBeans.
Perfect. So we have heard from Zoran in Serbia and Ludovic, I think you're in France, if I'm correct. You can tell us in the chat. Alexius is in Greece or in UK, but we can't. Yes, so that Boucher is in France. We can't hear you if you're saying something, Alexius, because you're muted. Tulina, we heard from in Sri Lanka. Kai is in Germany, and there are a few other people here. But if I haven't mentioned your name and you can say something, please say something about who you are and where you are in the world. Alexius isn't hearing anything. Yes, we are speaking. I am audible, aren't I? Kai, you can hear me? Kai, can you hear me? Talina, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Getchen.
Yeah, Zoran,
Yeah,
yes.
I can hear you.
Everyone can hear me except you, I guess, Alexius. Okay, so we are introducing ourselves and hoping to hear from you too. So these meetings, the idea is to have this maybe once every 2 weeks, and every time we're just going to see how many people turn up, and sometimes it will be a lot and sometimes it will be a little, but it's just to get in tune with what's going on in the project and how you can be involved. So I'm going to start by very briefly explaining the current status. Hey, Alexius, we can see you at least.
Yeah.
Hey, so can you tell us who you are and where in the world you are right now?
Hi, I'm Alexius. I'm in Athens, Greece, and I'm a GE architect. That's it.
And how are you using NetBeans? What is your interest in this project?
I'm using NetBeans in a team of more than 50 people.
Okay, good. I think you can go on mute because we can hear lots of background sounds. Good. So what I was saying is, so we have about 10 people here this time. We had about the same number, about 15 last time. Somebody should go on mute, I think. Maybe Zoran. We can hear your small boy in the background, Zoran. I think. Let me try and mute you. Okay. Yeah, suddenly it's quiet. Okay. So we could hear Zoran's young son in the background, but not anymore. So, so these meetings, the idea is we will meet once every 2 weeks for an hour, never more than an hour, just to meet each other and to talk about the current status. Sometimes there will be many people, sometimes there'll be few people. This is just a place where we can discuss the status of the project and to see what we can do to help and how we can be involved. It's just a status update, really. So I'm going to start by very briefly going through the current status, and then we will open it up for questions, and it can be questions about APIs, about why NetBeans isn't working for you in some way, what you can do, etc. Anything you like. It's just an open mic discussion. I'm going to, I think, start by sharing my screen, and I'm going to do that now. So you should be able to see NetBeansApache.org. Let's see. Where is the get see? So if you can see NetBeansApache.org now, can you say so? Maybe Zoran or Kai?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, Talina, yes, good. Okay, so this is the homepage of NetBeans, NetBeansApache.org. And of course, we also have NetBeans.org. NetBeans.org is the website that everyone knows who uses NetBeans. We've developed this under Sun and under Oracle. And right now, Oracle is in the process of donating this to Apache. So it's taking a long time, and there are many reasons for this, because processes are very slow. But NetBeans.org, the website and the domain and the logos and the icons are going to be donated to Apache. Once that happens, NetBeans.org will be rerouted to NetBeansApache.org. So this is going to be the site that everyone will end up at, whether they go to NetBeansApache.org or NetBeans.org, they will be on this page. So this is the new page created by the Apache NetBeans community. So people like Neil Smith were involved in this, and Wade Chandler, and Emilian Bold, and Antonio Vieira. Those were the main people, I think, who were working on this site. And you can see that there's information about the mailing lists and about how to get involved. And there's a blog here that I'll talk about. There's a download page, of course, very important. And we're going to move the documentation in here. So right now, the most useful thing about netbeans.org is the documentation. So we're going to, once everything is donated, so we're in the process of donating this part now, we will move that into Apache NetBeans.org. And at that point, we will need a lot of help. This will be very easy for people to do. So there'll be a process for migrating tutorials from the old site to the new site. And there'll be a process described once we are there to do that. So NetBeansApache.org is going to be the homepage. It is that already, but it's a bit confusing right now. We have these two different home pages, but that's because this is still in transition to Apache. Now, that's one part of the story. The other part is, of course, there have been donations already. So if you go to github.com/apache/incubator NetBeans, you will see a very long list of different modules. So these are all modules. And the first donation consisted of the NetBeans platform and the Java SE tools. And we have released that already. So there is the, if you go to the download page, you can download Apache NetBeans 9.0, which is only Java SE related tools. You can add the 8.2 plugin update center, and then you will have plugins for Java EE and for JavaScript and so on. In the meantime, we have also done the second donation. So the second donation consists of the Java EE tools. So in this list, you will see things like Wildfly and Glassfish and so on. So if I look here, you can see here Wildfly and JBoss tools are in here and things like that. What you can also see is if you go to the Apache Apache projects page, that there is a place here where you can see repositories by lines of code. Now, NetBeans right now is the largest project in Apache. The next one is OpenOffice. You can see here, OpenOffice, 6.3 million lines of code, NetBeans, 7.4 million lines of code. So we are by far the largest project in Apache. When you go down here, you will see the language map. So this is, you can see here, this is old Java. And the largest Java contribution to Apache is NetBeans. So in terms of Apache, we are really the largest project. So that just shows the challenges we're facing because of the size of our project. So one of the things we have started doing just over the past weeks is reorganizing this very long list into clusters. So if you go down this list, you will see there's already in here a folder here called platform. Now, all the other ones here are modules. This is not a module. This is a cluster of modules. Now, these are all the modules that belong to the NetBeans platform. And we are going to increasingly restructure all of these modules into these higher level folders so that you don't get this very long, scary list of modules here, but that you get about 10 folders. There'll be about 10 or 15 folders instead of over 1,000, which is a problem for GitHub to handle. And you will have a few folders, and it will be much easier to see where you are doing your work. So that's one of the most recent developments that we've been working on, to reorganize this GitHub top-level root directory to be more manageable, because this is very difficult to even scroll through. Because at the bottom here are the instructions for building, but you will never get there because there's just so many of these modules. Before you get there, you don't even know that there's a README at the end. So we want to have that README much higher up, which we can do once we have restructured the modules. And the first one we have done is all the platform modules. So you can see this is a lot as well, but these are in the platform folder. And I've been working on the moving Groovy modules into a Groovy folder, so that there will be a Groovy top-level directory. At the same time, what is going on, and Tulina is really a hero here. Tulina in Sri Lanka, you are absolutely a NetBeans hero at this point, because we are, now that we have completed the first donation, we have completed the first release consisting of the first donation. We are now working on moving the second donation in such a way that it will be ready for release. And we have a release schedule as well. It's tentative, and you can see the Apache NetBeans release roadmap. So we've done our first release, our first complete release in the incubator end of July, which was the support for JDK 9 and 10. And we have more or less agreed informally between ourselves that we want to do quarterly releases, which means our next release is in November, when we will support JDK 11. And that code is already in the GitHub repository. So the Oracle contributors to Apache NetBeans have been working on that. So there's a team, especially in India, of 5 or 6 developers working on JDK 11 support right now and 12. But what we also want to have in the November release is as much of the second donation as possible. So maybe we will have the PHP parts included, or we will have and/or JavaScript, and/or Java EE, and/or Groovy, depending on whether we can relicense those modules in time. Because when Oracle does a donation to Apache, what it means is there's Oracle people going through all the files and checking whether those files belong to Oracle and can be given to Apache. Once they are in the Apache NetBeans Git repo, they are still licensed to Oracle. You will see Oracle licenses and some licenses in those files. And we need to change those licenses to be Apache licenses. And we have tools for that. So we've created some tools that automatically change Sun and Oracle licenses to Apache licenses. But there are always exceptions. I mean, some of the files are not licensed in such a way that our tools catch them. So there is something called a RAT report. And here I am. So RAT is a tool that detects whether a file meets Apache's requirements to be released by Apache, which means that this tool called RAT can go through all the files, look at all the licenses, and see if the licenses are correct. Now, right now, there are not that many licenses left that we need to fix. So we fixed thousands. With the tool, we fixed about 15,000 files at least. But now we are going through these remaining ones. There's not that much left. And we're going through them module by module. And so you can see here we have this page on the wiki where you can sign up. And Tulina is absolutely a hero. He has done a lot of these. Also, Gilberto has been doing a lot of this work. And you can see Arunava, Vikas, and Rima. These are people in Oracle in India who have signed up. Junichi, of course, is our great PHP and Groovy hero. He has also been very active. I think Junichi and Tulina are absolute heroes. You can see how much work has been done here. So this is completely volunteer work. So Junichi, Tulina in particular. And you can see here Svata Djedzic. This is from Oracle in Prague. So what these people are doing is doing a Git clone. So the whole process is described here. It's a little bit technical, but you need to do a Git clone. So you can here are the steps. And when and then you take a look at where the problems are. So you have this this RAT report. You can see here. Okay, here's one problem. So apparently this file that is not licensed correctly. So you need to go and look inside of that particular module and see why that particular file is not licensed, and then license it yourself. And there are also other checks that we do to see whether there are third-party libraries, if the licensing of those libraries is correct, because Apache has its own rules about licensing. So if a module contains a library that is GPL licensed, that's going to be a big problem for releasing through Apache. So we need to take a note of that. So Junichi and Tulina in particular, you'll see that there are some cases where there are discussions about libraries and about licenses. So you can see here there's some issues sometimes about licenses that we need to discuss, sometimes with legal, with Apache legal, whether or not, you can see here MIT license. So there's always some licensing things, or sometimes some licensing things. So it means really owning that module and seeing where there are problems from the RAT side, and also where there are problems from the licensing side. And then you make those changes in that module and you do a push to the Apache NetBeans Git repo. And you can see that, you can see here, so Junichi added license header to a README file. And so this is an example file. So there's some exceptions. Some files you can't relicense because that would break the build or break something. So those exceptional files we add to a license info XML file. And then there are still some problems that we need to be aware of about unit test failing. but we merged this. And you can see that there are a lot of pull requests waiting. So these are all different reviews, and they're all filed under that same issue. So we can keep track of them under that same issue. So you can see it's a little bit of deep diving, but definitely more people are needed to do this. And if you need any help, you just write to the dev mailing list and you say, how do I get started with this? And we'll say to you, take a look at these existing pull requests, and that's what you need to do. So those are the two big things happening right now. We want to relicense everything to Apache and make sure that the licensing of the jars that are used in the modules are correct, so that in November we can do another release. And the question will be, should that be Apache NetBeans 9.1? Or should that be Apache NetBeans 10? Or how do we, so this is a whole discussion still, or should we jump to Apache NetBeans 11 because we are going to support Java 11? Or should we not care about keeping track with the Java releases? Or, this is a big discussion. So that's a discussion you can really be involved in on the mailing list. People are very emotional about this, of course, because there are people who are only interested in PHP, for example. And you don't care about Java, you don't want to follow the Java releases. But we have a tentative schedule, which is really very encouraging. So we want to release once a quarter. And what will be in those releases will depend. So it's going to be very clear for the first donations from Oracle. But once those donations are complete, we will need to see what other features we want to work on together. And even right now, there might be features that you think we can work on together. What is clear is that it is better to, instead of filing an issue for a new feature, it works better to go to the mailing list and to say, hey, why don't we have this feature in NetBeans? And we discuss that feature on the mailing list. And once we agree that we need to have this, and someone says, yes, I want to work on that, and then file an issue, rather than filing lots of issues that no one ever actually does anything with. It's better to first discuss on the mailing list and then to file an issue afterwards. I think I've discussed the most important things. So we have the netbeansapache.org homepage. We have the download page. You can download NetBeans. There's also, if you go to that link for the final release, you can see also YouTube clips for getting started. How to be involved. So I've given you some ways to be involved. A simple way, or not so simple maybe, is to work on these donation. So to sign up to one or more. So the step one is to go to here and to sign up to one or more of these rows, to do a Git clone, to take a look at that module, to look at the ret report, and to work on that module and to check it. So that's one way to be involved. Second way is to work on that reorganization of the modules into higher level folders like Platform and Groovy and so on. But maybe the simplest way is to set up Apache NetBeans 9 and to use it and to tweet about it. It's very important that people know that we have Apache NetBeans. So very often, when I search on Twitter under NetBeans, I see people saying, hey, Apache NetBeans, what happened? What's Apache doing with NetBeans? A lot of people out there are using NetBeans without being aware of this whole process. So there's often people saying, hey, what's going on? So the more information we have out there about NetBeans and how it's working for you, and if you make small YouTube clips, if you do a small tip, it takes 2 seconds to write a quick tip about NetBeans and to post that on Twitter. And that can be really valuable. So I think I've said enough. I've given some a technical way to be involved. And again, Junichi and Telina, you are absolute heroes for all the work that you are doing. It's amazing how much work. You can see these names coming up. And from Oracle, Svacha Djedzic and the team in India have also been really working hard. Gilberto, fantastic. This is the important thing. As soon as this table is complete, we can actually work on releasing the next version of Apache NetBeans. So I've said many things. Probably not a good idea to to share that right now. I'm going to stop sharing so that we don't have this major, let's stop sharing, recursive thing going on here. Yeah, that's it. So are there questions or comments? And yes, link of the table with the modules to review. Okay, so let me put that there. Yes, thank you. Someone put that in there. A link for the RET report. Okay. So here is that. It's really useful to see all the problematic bits and pieces there. Now, actually, for some reason, I can't see who is on the call. How do I do that? Talina, do you have any comments to add to what I've said? Hello, is anyone still here?
Hello, Vivian.
So it seems that somebody, did I drop out or did other people drop out?
Hello.
Hello, you are back.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Talina, did you hear my little story? And do you have any additions?
Yeah, actually, we hear it clear and loud. No, there was no problem. Sometimes the screen sharing thing was get stuck for a few seconds, but it's okay.
Yeah.
The thing is, the licensing thing is actually happening very fast. I did not think actually this thing will go in this fast. Actually, I'm happy about that. Many people coming into this thing and doing the licensing very well.
Yeah.
And these days I'm having a bit free time, so I'm allocating this into this thing. So the thing is, I don't think it will take much time to complete this thing.
Yeah. So it's all good on your end.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, perfect. Zoran, what do you think about the status of things and where things are going?
I think it's great. It's great that we have this release, and I think that things are speeding up.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like this discussion by Neil recently. I think it is important for us to continue to provide this out-of-the-box experience. Still having questions. Do you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Hello, anybody?
Yes, we can hear you. I can hear you.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. So I think why this discussion about that discussion about Java C and NetBeans Java compiler.
Yes.
No, so to avoid the need, to people get zip distribution. Then it's like additional steps that were not required. People are not used to that. Yeah. And, even if it cannot be done from Apache, I understand that. But maybe we can set up a kind of a community page or whatever where people can download the complete distribution with installers. I think that's really important.
Yeah, it's clear from the first release that people are missing the installers. I'm a little bit surprised on the one hand, because as a developer you shouldn't care, you can just unzip, but at the same time people like their installers. And I can see Alexia's nodding as well, so yeah, so we are moving the installers as well into the next donation, so that's clearly something we need to do. The other aspect is, yes, NB Java C. So NetBeans has a fork of the Java compiler, which we need for building NetBeans, the Java parts, and also for using the Java editor. And because it's a fork of the Java compiler, Oracle is not going to donate it to Apache, and it's not going to be relicensed to Apache. And Apache has a problem releasing that because it's not relicensed to Apache and it's GPL licensed. So our solution has been, for the first release, you will see that when you start up NetBeans, you are asked, do you want to install the Java compiler, the NetBeans Java compiler? And if you don't, then either you can't use Java or you will use the native Java compiler that comes with JDK 9 or 10. So it's very complicated for beginners as well, this situation. So the simpler we can make that, the better. And it's simply a situation of Apache rules and Oracle not wanting to obviously donate the Java compiler. So these are, there are always going to be some problematic areas, and this is probably the most problematic one. And right now the discussion is how to simplify that process. And yeah. Alexios, do you have any comments on the process and what you feel about where we are?
The only comment is that, yes, people are missing their installers, and I had a discussion regarding this with John Kostaras, and he was explaining to me the situation, and I was starting actually I started creating an installer myself.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and what I can do, if I can donate some servers that I have, if needed, if needed, so that we can host the installers outside the Apache. Okay, so if this is handy, okay, yeah. I can give them to you. We can set up Jenkins or whatever you want outside and do our job.
Yeah, I think this is very useful. And actually, about the installers, a number of different people have been working on this. So there's Carl Moska, who has created a script for generating a Mac installer. There's about 5 or 6 different people who have all created a solution around this. And so we need to put up a wiki page or something to list all of these different ones so that we're not all duplicating the same work. So that's one thing that I'll be doing in the next few days, putting up a place where we list all these installer solutions, so we have one place where we can all go to and see this information. But yeah, it's wonderful to have servers where we can generate these installers, so thank you. Are there any other comments or questions? Or in the chat, Ludovic, Jose, if you want to ask something in the chat, please do so.
I have one more suggestion.
Yes.
Zoran, you mentioned that Dalin is the NetBeans hero, so maybe we can introduce a recognition of the contributing efforts. We have a NetBeans hero for this month, so people who contributed a lot.
Yeah. And
so entire community will recognize their work and effort.
You know something. I heard this amazing idea. A guy called Jürgen Apollo, very interesting guy. He does happiness. How to introduce happiness into organizations, and he has this idea of every month, everybody in a project gets 100 points, and during that month, you have those 100 points to give away to other people on the team. So if someone helps you, you give them maybe 20 points or whatever. And at the end of the month, whoever has the most points is the hero or the winner or whatever. And it's really based on everyone having these set number of points that they give away based on how helpful they have seen other people be or whatever it is. That could be one way to do a community-based a monthly recognition for being super active and useful in the project.
Yeah.
Okay, so from my side, Twitter is so valuable. Please use Twitter to say, hey, this is a cool thing in NetBeans, or hey, did you know, here's the download page, or here's a quick YouTube clip, or here is how we are using NetBeans, Apache NetBeans. It's really valuable. So that thing. The second is helping with the second donation, and also participate on the mailing lists. And something else is, if you go to the GitHub repository and look at the pull requests, often people really need you to give your opinion on a particular pull request. And some of them have been there a long time. And if you go there and say, well, this is useful, or I can see using this, or thank you for creating this, or respond to those pull requests that people have put their work into. Also think about features. What is NetBeans missing? Write to the dev mailing list and say, hey, what about if we work together on this or that feature? Please do that as well. And also think about what topics you want to discuss in this meeting. So we could dedicate a whole meeting to discussing one particular topic, for example. The nice thing is we can do whatever we want to do and make this project be whatever we want it to be. It's really up to our own imagination and creativity to make it be whatever we want it to be. Are there other questions or comments from anybody? Alexius would like to speak. Please speak.
Yes, I have lots of requests. When I am giving my newbies, okay, the new site for them to download NetBeans 9, they are all complaining that they cannot find what to download. So can we have a specific large download button, okay, for the people to see?
So if I look on that page, okay, yeah, that's true. So are you on the download page right now?
Yes.
So basically, where it says binaries, that's where it should say down. That should be a big button there, right? Instead of that link.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're all searching.
Yeah.
Just a big button.
Yeah. Good. It shall be done. Actually, why don't you wait? Let me show you something interesting. You might not know this, but I'm going to try and share. Hopefully, not crash everything again. I'm going to share my screen, and here I am on the download page. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. So at the end of the page, you can see this page in GitHub. You see this?
Yes.
So if I click on that, I am now in GitHub for that page. Now in here, I can click on this button, edit this file. Now I'm in the source, and now I can change this to whatever I like. So you can put that button in there yourself. You can put in there that button right there, and then at the end of the page, you will see create a new branch. So you'll put something there.
I'll create a pull request. Okay.
Yeah, you create a pull request.
Yes.
Into the site. So
I'll do it tonight.
Anyone, if you find anything missing or incomplete or a spelling error, just make a pull request for the site, and you can do it from the page itself. So that's a really amazing feature. I mean, compared to how difficult it was to make changes in NetBeans.org. This is impossible to change without having the whole back end checked out. And in Apache, all we need to do is go directly into the GitHub from the page and change it directly in GitHub, and then make a pull request. So you don't have to check out anything. It's amazing. This is amazing.
I'll do it tonight.
Okay. Excellent. I'll stop sharing before everything goes crazy again. Okay. Are there other points or questions, comments? If not, thank you so much. And do you think this is useful, and should we meet again in 2 weeks? Okay, Alexius is nodding. Tulina is going to be there, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Okay, so, it doesn't matter how many people turn up. We've already made progress. We're going to have a button on there for downloading. We're going to have a page on the wiki for the installers that I'm going to be working on for this week. And you're going to be tweeting and doing YouTube, and we know what the status is, so spread the word. Thank you very much, everybody, and speak to you in 2 weeks. Please sign up on the Doodle page so we know who to expect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.